Welcome to the story of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, like you've never heard it before.
This story isn't told to you by the one Dragonborn that masters all, but told to you through the eyes of many different characters.
From soldiers in the Civil War seeking peace and order,
to seeking freedom and to remove the weakness from her lands.
From those cursed by the night, seeking to be the vigil in the darkness.
To warriors seeking honor, glory, and companionship.
To a shapeshifter and worshipper of the Daedra who seeks to live a life as a warrior.
To a mage seeking power and the arcane knowledge of Aetherius.
To assassins seeking fear and bringing the cold touch of Sithis.
To thieves seeking wealth beyond measure.
We all hope you enjoy
this story
of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Chapter 35, War in the West. For months now we have fought to free Skyrim from the Empire. Each battle we get closer and closer to our ultimate goal. A free Skyrim, one ruled by a Nord High King, the true High King Ulfric Stormcloak. If these Imperial bastards won't leave our lands, we'll soil our lands with their blood. Skyrim is tired of suffering because of Imperial weakness. Nords went off to Cyrodiil to fight for the Emperor, and once he got his fancy gilded chair back, he surrendered to the Elves' treaty. The Nords died to get back his throne. Skyrim will suffer no more because of the Emperor and his weak empire. So us true sons and daughters of Skyrim will fight until our very last moment. We'll fight until we reach Sovngarde, or we see the Empire retreating back to their lands. This is Skyrim. This is the home of the Nords. We won't be told how to live or who we can worship by some milk-drinking emperor. We won't throw our lives away for the Empire ever again. If Nords are to give their lives, it's for Skyrim and her people. We might be losing ground to the Empire, but it's not over yet. The Nords of Skyrim do not take it lying down. We'll fight until there's none of us left. One Nord warrior is worth at least 7 imps. One Bear-Claw raider is worth 1 Imperial cohort. If the raiders are sent out, we paint the snows in Imperial red. Other brigades seem to think the Bear-Claws bleed blue. And that we do because we are sons and daughters of Skyrim. I only wish Grandmother would give us better missions. She has us hidden away in Eastmarch on patrols. She damn well knows we could be doing more. If only they would give us the chance to show them. Instead, they send us to smaller holds to take them back from the Empire. Like Winterhold. Winterhold is a ghost hold. It's worthless. I'm surprised the Empire wasted men guarding it. If the mages would help us free Skyrim from the Empire, Winterhold would have use. But those weak mages hide away in their tower like cowards. But what do you expect from mages? Most have no honor and don't belong on the battlefield. We took Winterhold back from the Empire, but we lost raiders in this fight. True heroes of Skyrim. They died for this waste of space. They died to free Skyrim and her people from the Empire. These are the first I've lost. We've had many battles across Skyrim, but all of us have come back home. The Bear-Claw Raiders are a close group. Families fight together to free Skyrim. Brothers, sisters, mothers and fathers. Now these mothers and fathers must bury their children, who now drink in the halls of Sovngarde. For returning courier to the throne of his empty hold, he made me his thane. He would give me one of his best as my housecarl. Some washed-up old warrior who's seen better days. But this old warrior was excited to leave. I told him what we do, and he was eager to leave. Even the guard of Winterhold want out. They'd rather die in a war than guard Winterhold. We'd return to Mistwatch to bury our dead. Our friends, our loved ones, our family, all are true heroes of Skyrim and will never be forgotten. They now fight and drink in the halls of Sovngarde beside Ysgramor and Shore. They leave behind loved ones. But one day they'll meet again. One day we'll all meet again. All of us will be young and full of joy, drinking and feasting in Sovngarde forever, alongside the ancient heroes of Skyrim. Until then, we will fight on for Skyrim. We will fight in your memory and every other true Nord that has given their life to free Skyrim. Me and Brianna had received orders to report to Gran at her home. Normally we're called into the Palace of Kings. We'll go see what Gran wants. Good old home. Me and Brianna grew up here, just like our mother. This was home until we were 17, until we joined the rebellion. Looks like Gran got some ink work done. She now honors her daughter like we do. the right hand of the bear. Gran had orders for us, but ones that she didn't want to be heard by those in the Palace of Kings. She told us that Ulfric had been keeping an eye on us, keeping track of our progress, that he was impressed, that he had great plans for the raiders, that it was now our time to really enter the war. Brianna was really excited, and we didn't even know what was our orders yet. But I had a feeling we were leaving Mistwatch behind. Then Gran would tell us that we would be chosen to take back Whiterun from the Empire. We've waited so long for this, but winter was coming and we had a month to pull this off, so we had to move fast and plan. We already had Folkreath, cutting off Imperial troops from Cyrodiil. What we needed was Morthal and the Pale. Once we took those, the Empire would try and take them back, spreading their defense thin in Whiterun, giving us the chance to take it from them. I'm glad Nan had paintings done, or we'd never really know what Mother looked like. Brianna is a spitting image of her. I'm told I'm a spitting image of Nan. Nan told us that we have our father's eyes and that he had blonde hair, but we'll never know what he looked like. But we're lucky to see paintings of our mother as a woman and a girl. Most kids that lost their parents at birth never get the chance to see their loved one. One day we'll meet again in Sovngarde. We'll sit down and drink mead while we tell each other about our lives. I've never even met you and I miss you every day. It's funny that we're the age you were when you gave birth to us. We'll do our best to live on for you. We both can't wait to meet you one day. Nan's almost 70 and her life is hanging from a wall. Warriors never live this long, or if they do, they're not able to fight or even move for that long. Gran is gifted by the gods to still be strong and beautiful at this age. If I manage to even get to 50 winters, I don't imagine myself fighting. If I'm lucky, I'll be an old, loving grandmother by then. It was time to leave Mistwatch behind. We were to set off west. Our staging ground would be Folkreath Hold. We'd take charge of the soldiers there that took Folkreath and have been holding it, led by a brigade warrior called Urlfring War Torment. It's said that the elves feared his name during the Great War, and now the Empire does. But it's now our time to earn some glory. It's time for the Empire to fear the Bear-Claw name if they don't already. Now that we have been given an important mission, we won't fail. We won't fail Gran or Ulfric Stormcloak, and we won't fail Skyrim. I dream of a day that I wake up and Skyrim and her people are ruled once more by a Nordic king. To once more be a fierce province, no longer hanging from the Empire's weakness. The Empire couldn't even defend itself against the Dominion. They needed Skyrim to save them. Maybe one day Skyrim will set out and take over the Empire. So it's ruled by the strong and not some piss-weak milk-drinking Imperial. Falkreath. It holds the gate to Cyrodiil. If the Empire wants to get troops into our lands, they'll have to go around from High Rock. Fort Neugrad. I remember Brianna took this months back, and she captured Marillia Tullius here. Now she fights in the Bloodworks for her food. What we do here will be sung into the storybooks forever. I was told the group here was like ours, strong and hardy, led by a stormfist called Urlfring War Torment. I've been given charge of his unit to attack and defend the holds we take, so we can spread the Whiterun defense out. We want the Empire sending troops out to take these holds back, so we can get into Whiterun without losing half of our army. He wasn't too happy about giving over his troops, but I assured him anything that happens, that he'll be at the table of command. I'd take some troops with me and take over an old abandoned fort close to Folkreath. I'm told it used to be an old orc encampment. We're close to Folkreath if the Empire attacks, and we're hidden away in the Folkreath forest. I'll head into Folkreath and let the Jarl know we're here. The Imperial Jarl of Folkreath was scum. It said he used to underpay his guard, and use Folkreath's gold for fine clothes and wine. That he even used to take cuts from bandits working in Folkreath. This is why the Empire needs to be removed from Skyrim. It's disgusting. This place is amazing. It's so beautiful. Eastmarch might be home, but Folkreath was just beautiful. It housed the fallen of Skyrim's greatest heroes. We shall never let it fall to the disgusting Empire that would dishonor this hold again. It's now where it belongs, under the true sons and daughters of Skyrim, led by a strong northern Jarl that knows how to lead his people into the future. I'd rather let a child rule over a hold than an Imperial chosen Jarl. This place is nice, the home of a true Jarl.
You may have seen the open grave in our graveyard. Most of the townsfolk think it's the work of a corpse thief. The truth is less pleasant. It was the grave of Vigar, my own ancestor, dead for centuries now. He is also a vampire. My family is entrusted with keeping him buried. But recently, someone stole the ward stone, and Vigar escaped. No, it's too late for the ward stone. Vigar must be destroyed. If this gets out, my family will suffer great shame.
Vampires? I'm a soldier, not a hunter. We're here to kill Imperials, not hunt vamps.
Yeah, I expected too much. I'll seek someone else to salvage the family honor.
We're not here to salvage family honor. Hire hunters or get those vigilants. Or even that new group starting in the Rift. What did Gran call them? The Dawn Guard? We're here to make sure the Empire won't corrupt Folkreath again. If we hear imps are on their way, we'll be here, until we make our move in Morthal. In a few days we'll set off at night, so we can get past any Imperial scouts, so they don't see us moving towards Hjalmarch. But until then, we set in and get ready, and defend Folkreath if the Empire attacks. The nights here were beautiful. These are the nights I grew up under. I was born and raised in Helgen. That all ended when Imperial troops murdered my family and violated me. Once I dealt with them, I joined Ulfric's rebellion to remove the Empire from our lands. And one arrow at a time, I've been removing Imperials from my lands. One day we'll see these dogs leave Skyrim. A full-scale retreat or all dead. I'll never forgive the Empire for what they have done to me or my people, and our land. I was enjoying the fire until I heard something. Something out in the woods. Sure, many creatures live out there. But I don't know. It didn't feel right. It was the dead of night. I really couldn't see anything, and I have the best eyes with the raiders. But I could hear something was close. It felt like I was being watched, but by something not of those woods. Me and Brianna were enjoying some dinner while we talked about battle plans. Then we heard someone open the door and run to us in a hurry. It was Angie. She told us something wasn't right outside, that something was watching us. Was it the Imperials? How did those milk drinkers creep up on us? How in Talos did she know something was watching us? It's that dark out here I can't even see my feet. But Angie is the best archer I've seen. Her hunches have always been spot on, and it was unnaturally quiet. What in oblivion was that? We're under attack. Whatever it is, it's not natural. It was damned vampires. I don't plan on going to Sovngarde killed by bloodsuckers. Let's send these bastards back to the dirt. We fought off attacks all night. None of us could see each other fighting. But we all managed to kill these vampires. They're no match for trained soldiers. Maybe Dengir's request might have more merit. If vampires are getting this bold to attack armies. Something about that isn't right. Maybe this ancestor vampire of his is controlling these vampires. We put him down and the vamps scatter to the wind. We better deal with this before we start our campaign. Day 1 and we're already fighting off raids from vampires. I've heard reports of this all over Skyrim, even in Imperial-controlled holds. Vampires stealing travelers off the roads, attacking towns, and even cities at night. Maybe this is part of that. Even the vampires attacked Folkreath. Those filthy bastards met the same end here. You don't start a fight with the Stormcloak Rebellion and come out on top. Better go and find out if Dengir knows where this ancestor would be. Go and kill this filthy bloodsucker so we don't have to worry about both vamps and imps.
Yes, sir.
Destroy Vigor, my long-dead vampire ancestor. Have you changed your mind? Good. He will have fled to gather others of his kind.
I was told that this ancestor was called Vigar, that this Vigar was getting old and didn't want to die. So he became a vampire. After that, he used an old Imperial fort on the Gerald Mountains. The fort has been named Bloodlet Throne since. Time to clean it out, and kill this Vigar proper. I was told once he is down, to touch him with fire. You could smell the death from the door. What kind of horrors go on past this door?
Rotting wood, perhaps. That's Thought I heard.
Never seen such a thing. Disgusting. They feed on a person until they die, then resurrect their corpse to fight for them. Nothing is more disgusting. There he was. With his little clan we had all slaughtered. Just 2 more left.
And who is this?
It is no matter. This fool will be the next act of the show.
Is someone there?
What in oblivion was that? Its bite was as cold as death.
There is nothing that's too low for them.
One shouldn't be scared of death, but welcome it. For in battle we earn our place in Sovngarde, or surrounded by our loved ones at old age. The filth was dead, but to make sure he was dead, I was told to make sure flame touches his body. That way he could never come back. Instead of Sovngarde, he gets Oblivion. Now we need to tell Dengir. What in Oblivion are those? Some sort of hound from Oblivion? Little terrors.
You're not as dumb as you look. My family thanks you. Take this as a token of our gratitude.
Now we set off to free our lands from the Empire, and remind them who they're fighting. When the bear claws come, the snows get left painted Imperial red. The Empire believes this war is over by winter. For them, it will be. But now we go to war, to free Skyrim from its Imperial shackles.
Now, this chapter, I gave Tova a bit of an update. I gave her the arm tattoo that the two girls had, because the reason I ever gave that to her beforehand is because she needed to look like a frail old lady. This battle scars left, like, you know, like, it's even today, you see World War II videos, like videos of veterans of World War II, and they're on walkers, they're on wheelers. They look old as fuck, and you're thinking how frail they are. But back in their prime, they were fucking dodging bullets and killing people, and they were trying to survive, and kind of this is what I wanted to go with Tova, because she's in her late 60s, and I kind of wanted her to look like an old frail lady walking through Whiterun, talking to the Greymanes, not looking like a threat. But if she's got the Bear-Claw tattoo on her, someone might spot that and go, well, wait up, are they the Bear-Claw Raiders? Because they were kind of known beforehand, but not so Skyrim-like, because they were more of a raiding party. But the Bear-Claw thing would have been like a Bear-Claw. Isn't there a group that have tattoos like that? But now that she's kind of, you know, well established and people know who she is, she's decided to honour her daughter. And if you haven't watched the prequel, I think it might be chapter 10, I don't really remember. Something to watch it, because it's her entire story, her daughter's story, her story, and also her granddaughter's story. And it's a lot of origins of this. It's kind of the idea behind this entire series. And she's now finally got the tattoo that her granddaughters have, because the tattoo is a sort of, it's a mark of their Raiders party, but it's also honouring her daughter and the girl's mother, you know, because she was Ulfric's housecarl during the Great War, and she got nicknamed, like in the Vikings would they'd make their own last names by their life events, and she got named Brianna Bear-Claw, because she was like pretty much the right hand of Ulfric Stormcloak, defending him, attacking with him, and she got the nickname for being Ulfric's basically housecarl and stuff like that. And so the daughter's basically tattooed the blue, when they joined the Legion, sorry not the Legion, the Rebellion, they got the blue tattoo on their right arm. It's just like Tova's now got, which is pretty bloody cool. But we're moving into an entirely new area where the girls have just been, raiders have been sent here to this part of, like, you know, small town to hit that or defend this or raid this. Nothing serious. And now it's finally time for them to enter the war proper, to enter and affect the war, like, for the consequences. And their mission is Whiterun. So their goal is to spread the because, you know, we've been to Whiterun, we've seen troops all over the goddamn place. You're not hitting that day one. So their goal is to take the surrounding holds. They've already got Felcreath, and they want to take Morthal, which is bordering Solitude, and then take Dawnstar, which is going to spread the Empire out, and eventually the Imperials in Whiterun are going to have to leave and spread out to try and take these things back. And when they're spread out enough and they start seeing Whiterun guards attacking these, you know, Stormcloak holds now, they know they're pretty, you know, the Empire's pretty thin. They're now sending out Whiterun guards. Perfect time to attack. With these, I just kind of wanted to add paintings. And this is from the prequel. I tried to make them as best as I could to make them like a painting, like a dodgy sort of painting. And I think that worked, because it's kind of nice, you know, it's an idea to see, ignore the big titties, but it's kind of an idea to see her mother as a child and a young woman and stuff like that. But yeah, they are definitely progressing, and I want them to actually join the war proper, not be some pilot behind. They think it's grandmother, pretty much. It kind of isn't, even though Ulfric's now giving them an opportunity to prove themselves. But it's true, because they think Tova, their grandmother, is holding him back, not sending him into the war because she doesn't want him to die. It's not just Tova. It's also, if you watch the prequel, you know it is, but it's someone else. It's someone very important to their lives that they don't know about is holding it back. And now they're giving them an opportunity to prove themselves, which will obviously, you know, they're going to do a lot of hard work, but yeah, their main goal now is Whiterun. And I can actually do that with Open Civil Wars with the console command, which is awesome, because I've always played the Imperial side. And I've never seen the Stormcloak Jarl sit on the Ulfric side of the peace treaty. Like, I've never seen that, and I really want to see that for the first time forever I want to... Because that chair's always been empty. I was like, who the fuck sits there? Before I realised it's the Whiterun Stormcloak Jarl that sits on Ulfric's side. Because it's always Bolgrith for me. He's always sitting there shit-talking the Stormcloaks. But it's going to be different. It's the first time I'll ever see this. But yeah, the whole entire goal is for them to take Whiterun. And that will be around a month. They're going to hit hard, move fast, defend, hit hard again, move away. A bit like playing Battlefield, you know. You basically, with your squad, you basically hit this flag, you cap it, you run away, you cap a new flag. You know, the flag you've just capped got taken back. You got to go back there, kill them, or just move around a circle until you tire them out. It's kind of the idea between that. Now, when I first started this, the whole entire idea of it was to actually be the war in the West. You know, the Stormcloaks fighting Imperials. But at the same time, I've been trying to build a presence for a while of a certain threat that's coming really close. You know, that's building his forces up, basically attacking places, finding out their weaknesses, their strengths, and spreading the fear of vampires. You know, a certain big bad lord is making his move, and he's basically sending vampires out to steal people as cattle and turn them, and bandit clans, and they're because they're bloodthirsty, like pretty much fiends that need blood. They're sending them up to towns and attacking that and this, and rallying any kind of vampire they can. Even if it's not their bloodline, they want these vampires, because these vampires need the sun gone too. And so I kind of missed out an opportunity to do this, because I didn't want to go for, because it went for too bloody long. I thought, why not just have the War in the West as kind of their entire event of this story, which will lead into the eventual capture of Whiterun, but have it kind of a different sort of war going on, a war that they're going to face. Because I don't want it to be a carbon copy of Senturos' one. They are kind of, they are somewhat of a carbon copy, because if Senturos moves north, say northeast, somehow Sigund will always move southwest. Like they can't meet in the battlefield. And you've seen this with Senturos' chapter. He went from Whiterun to the Winterhold Towers, he went to East March, went south into Riften. He didn't go to the Falkreath Riften border, which I didn't even know existed, to be honest with you. That's the first time I've ever seen it, because I always fast travel. Where then Sigund, she goes from East March, where a little fort is, goes south into Riften, and then goes behind into Falkreath. So pretty much they circle each other. You know, Senturos basically. Sigund leaves first, and Senturos comes around, and they circle each other into their different territories. And the whole reason of that is because they're two sides of the one coin. Sigund is the heads of the coin, because the heads is Tiber Septim, and we use Talos, and Senturos is the tails, which is a symbol of the Empire, since he's an Imperial soldier. And the whole Elder Scrolls thing, they're not meant to meet yet, because if they do, one of them would kill each other. One of them would die. So they can't meet yet, because they're needed for a certain event, to train a certain somebody, not just physically, but also teach them something valuable. And the whole two-sided one coin, the tragedy of it, and the understanding of it, because she's a bit confused on what side's what, and what side she thinks she would want to support if she joined the war. But she'll learn with these certain two people that maybe it's not the greatest idea. Maybe it's not so black and white, or blue or red. Now, this kind of, like I said, the Stormcloaks aren't fighting the Imperials in the War of the West, they're fighting vampires. And what the shit? Is that blurry? Oh, that's just a screen. My bad. They're not fighting with Imperials, they're fighting with these guys, who are attacking towns and villages and strongholds because they're thirsty as shit, and they're being turned into vampires by Harkon's group, because winter's coming and they need to make a move. They need to test weaknesses, strengths, and put the fear of god, or the fear of vampires into people's hearts. Winter's coming, holy shit, this is going to be bad, this is going to be really scary. Setting up for the Dawnguard questline. And this right here actually is going to play part into the next chapter, because I kind of like the whole connect these things together, it's kind of fun for me. I like to connect stories. You know, even if they're not directly there, you can see them, but through episodes you might take notice of very similar things. You know, they walk here, they find their fort got attacked, and they've come to they come to Falkreath, and they found dead vampires there that they got attacked too. But someone else was there that very night. They were defending off vampires, and they've left before Sigund had walked into the town. Maybe I might have like a because I haven't fully done it yet. I'm up to it. But I might have someone walk off in the distance and maybe sense something strange is there. I don't know, didn't have, whatever. But yeah, it's kind of the whole entire thing is not really fighting Imperials. There's definitely battles with Imperials there, but it's not fully focused. It's more focusing on what's coming. Now this is kind of where I leave the story sort of like an open question, sort of like open-ended, where it's kind of in the next chapter we visit Sigund. It's kind of, you know what's going to happen. And I'm going to have shots of that, of course, but I don't want to go, spend an entire chapter fighting throughout 3 different holds, back and forth, that's pretty boring. That's something I can do in the background while I do other stories. And there'll be footage of that there and there, of course, but the next chapter is pretty much going to focus on, those events that has happened. And, it's going to be, I don't know, I am setting up for the Dawnguard questline, and then straight after that I'm going to set up for the big bad, the BBD, the Big Black Dragon questline. But yeah, I think the story's going pretty good so far. It's linking, it's like a family tree. I just gotta get all the characters, all their quest lines, and bridge them together properly without messing shit up, and this is going pretty good. So, you don't get to see the big ass battles, but trust me, it'd be pretty much carnage for those fight scenes, but it'd be pretty boring going from one hold to the next. I don't want to show you that. So it's happening in the background, but other characters have their stories. And there's plenty more to come. There's a DLC one coming up. Not really DLC, but more modded DLC, which kind of takes a certain character off his path. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you've got any questions or anything like that about mod setup or story questions and characters, whatever you want to talk about, if you've got something interesting to say, write it down in the comments. Anyway, I'll let you go. Have a good one. Peace out and look after yourselves.